5 Steps to Falling in Love. Stella spends most of her time in the hospital as a cystic fibrosis patient. Her life is full of routines, boundaries, and self-control, all of which are tested when she meets Will, a charming young man who also has the disease. Stella, 17, spends most of her time in the hospital as a cystic fibrosis patient. Her life is full of routines, boundaries, and self-control, all of which are tested when she meets Will, a charming young man who also has the disease. They immediately fall in love, despite restrictions that force them to keep a safe distance. As their relationship deepens, so does the temptation to throw everything out the window and embrace their attraction. Love has no boundaries. Stella Grant, Haley Lou Richardson, is a cystic fibrosis (CF) patient who actively uses social media to cope with her disease and try to live a normal life. She meets another CF patient, Will Newman, Cole Sprouse, and they quickly develop a romantic relationship. Will finds Stella's vlog on YouTube, in which Stella discusses life with CF. Will is fascinated and watches every video she posts. Stella's best friend, Poe, also has CF and is openly gay. He tells Stella that he has broken up with his new boyfriend. Stella later realizes that Poe has been shunning her because of CF. Stella's older sister, Abby, is a risk taker and died several years ago while cliff diving. CF patients are required to stay at least 6 feet, 1.8 m, apart to reduce the risk of cross-infection, as catching bacteria from other CF patients can be life-threatening. Stella's nurse, Barbara, previously had a pair of CF patients who were romantically involved and died from cross-infection, and Barbara does not want that to happen again. Will and Stella first date, but keep it a secret because the nurses will not approve. During the date, they try to keep a 6-foot distance. They end up at the hospital pool, where the house stripped down to reveal scars from previous surgeries. They stare at each other and swim together. Halfway through the date, Barbara notices that neither Will nor Stella is in the room. She immediately goes to find them. They realize this and quickly return to their rooms on time. Will is in the hospital for a drug trial, which is intended to clear a bacterial infection in his lungs. Stella notices that Will is not following his treatment regimen, and she offers to let him draw her in exchange for Will following his treatment regimen. Most of their interaction is done via video chat, and they arrange a second date. Stella's determination to stick to the 6-foot rule weakens, and she agrees to a second date with Will, overseen by a 5-foot pool cue. They walk around the hospital, holding both ends of their pool cues, and their feelings grow deeper. Stella comes up with the idea of a treasure hunt for Will's birthday, surprising him. Will meets Stella, who leads him to a room full of her and her friends. They enjoy a lavish feast made by Poe and laugh their heads off. Meanwhile, the nurses begin to discover the relationship between Will and Stella and decide to transfer Will to another hospital in hopes of protecting them both. As they are about to file the transfer papers, they receive an alert from Poe's room. The nurses rush in and find him unconscious on the floor of the hospital room. Several other nurses enter the room. One performs CPR in hopes that Poe will survive, but he never wakes up. Stella and Will quickly figure out what happened. Stella breaks down in tears. Poe was her best friend, and she never got to hold him. Stella then realizes that she has been living too seriously. She tells Will that growing up, everyone was prepared for her to die, but she was the only one who survived. She says that after Abby's death, her parents' death, and Poe's death, she feels guilty for surviving. She also tells him that her dream is to see the light, but that would require them to walk 2 miles, 3.2 kilometers, to the hospital in the snow. As Will and Stella go to see the lights, Stella grabs Will's hand, which she justifies because she is wearing gloves. They cross a pond and skate on the frozen water. Meanwhile, the hospital is notified that after years of waiting, Stella is able to have a lung transplant. She receives a series of messages asking where she is, but she ignores them to be with Will. Stella sits on a bridge, but falls while Will is distracted. She falls onto the ice, and Will pulls her out of the water. The shock of the cold water knocks Stella unconscious and causes her to go into cardiac arrest. Ignoring the risk of infection, Will performs CPR, and Stella wakes up. They return to the hospital, and Stella learns that she did not get the infection from Will. When Stella wakes up from surgery, she sees Will through the glass of the room. He tells her that he only has a month to live, and that he doesn't want her to experience his death like all the others she has experienced. He says goodbye to her and doesn't know what will happen to him and her. Before leaving, he made her close her eyes because he said he wouldn't be able to leave if she looked at him. She closed her eyes and he left. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel to support me, and look forward to many other interesting movie review and summary videos.